FireEye has bought Dallas-based Eyesight, which hires intelligence agents overseas to try to spot cyber attacks before they happen. I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio.
There are times being a genius would really come in handy.
As your financial advisor, I require a small 12% commission in addition to a 3% subcommission on every financial transaction and a 9% commissionary commission on top of the honorarium.
Honorarium?
It's like a commission.
But thankfully, you don't need to be a genius to do your own taxes. Because with TurboTax Absolute Zero, you can file your simple tax return for free. There are no hidden costs. It's simple, and it's absolutely free. Intuit TurboTax. Taxes done smarter. For simple U.S. returns only. Offer may end without notice. See offer details at turbotax.com.
If you're a 50-year-old male with type 2 diabetes, $500,000 of term life insurance is about $100 a month. Everyone needs affordable term insurance regardless of health. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, overweight, or have high blood pressure. For affordable term life for you, call Big Lou at 800-480-4694. 800-480-4694.
Hey guys, Pat Matthews here to tell you about the newest and best way to sell products online. It's buysellmakeoffer.com, an enormously revolutionary way to sell your stuff online. It's time to clean out the garage, your old golf clubs, sports equipment, tools, and yes, even your car. Forget about the way the other guys have taken more than their share from you when the sales were finalized. Look, it's happened to me over and over and over. Then I found buysellmakeoffer.com. They will never charge you item fees. Just go there right now to sign up and load all your stuff to our server to sell. This is not an auction site. Sell your car, sell your home. Realtor, sign up now. Just use our resources along with Skype and videos, then add your creativity to sell your items quickly and with no fees. Go right now to buysellmakeoffer.com and sign up. The excitement is building. I've signed up to sell my stuff with buysellmakeoffer.com. You should too. buysellmakeoffer.com.
Good afternoon. It's 3:03 with What's It All About with Dr. Jolly coming up real soon in just about 3 minutes. Meantime, this is what's going on in the world. State Democrats are blocking a bill aimed at stifling the flow of Syrian and Iraqi refugees into the U.S. The Republican bill originated in the House. Senate Democrats successfully filibustered the measure by holding it under 60 votes needed to move it forward. The vote was 55-43. President Obama threatened to veto the bill after it passed the House. Supporters cited growing fears that terrorists might be able to get into the U.S. disguised as refugees. Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid accused Republicans of buying into the rhetoric of GOP presidential frontrunner Donald Trump, who Reid called divisive. Trump wants to temporarily bar all Muslims from entering the U.S. And here at home, a motorcyclist has been killed in Temecula, the first to die this year in the Inland Empire. Initial reports indicate that Jason Ledoux, 38, of Menifee, ran off Meadows Parkway and into the center divider Tuesday. He was not wearing any protective gear, including a helmet. Statistics supplied by the local police agencies and the coroner's offices showed 66 people perished in motorcycle accidents across the IE last year. Inland Empire weather. The chance of showers is gone for the time being. Chance of showers coming back to us by Saturday. Tomorrow's high getting up to about 72 under a variable cloudy sky. Overnight lows tonight about 57. Currently we sit at 64 here in San Bernardino. And checking out your drive, a little slow traffic, 15 southbound between the 10 and Jurupa. And the northbound side is slow from Magnolia to the 91, and then once again from the 60 to Jurupa. Through Riverside, slow traffic on the 215 southbound between Blaine Street and University Avenue. And the Riverside 215 south is slow and go from Blaine to Central. The north slow from Alessandro to the 60. That's the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind. Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
What have I learned so far? I've learned that there is no one path that's right for everyone. I've learned that without my high school diploma, I can only do so much. My options were limited. I found a free personalized learning program with Learn for Life that is a flexible schedule so I could keep my job while earning my high school diploma. I found new career training opportunities that would jumpstart my future. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I can change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting
challenging times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
Welcome to What's It All About? This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on KCAA 1050 on your AM radio dial and 106.5 on your FM radio dial. Greetings to all of you. I just got back from Denver. I've had a very interesting journey to Denver for a funeral and a meeting, and I had some news there that I didn't really know what I should do with, so I want to share it with you. I went to a meeting of some very esteemed physicians. Several of them were cancer specialists. One was a cardiac specialist, and the others were general GPs and other forms of medicine and diagnostics. And what I was hearing was that we need to be careful with our cell phone signals and our Wi-Fi signals, that these signals can interrupt our brain patterns. They can interrupt the cellular activity in our brain and other organs. They have the capacity over a long period of time to help the body develop tumors. Now, I don't know a whole lot about the research on this, and I haven't done it. I haven't followed up and done it. I want to do it, and I'm going to embark on a program to try to learn myself, so I will understand the scientific ramifications and methodologies. But, you know, we know that radiation does this. We know that too many CAT scans can be a big problem. We know that radiation from bombs and electric plants that are run by atomic energy and other things that are related to radiation are very dangerous. And they're dangerous because the cells react to the influence that they send out. They are broadcasting, just like radio waves and television waves. But apparently these waves don't have the same deleterious effect. They're everywhere all the time. The cell signals, I suppose, in some places are pretty much everywhere. But what I would like to have you all do, if anybody has any information that they would like to contribute to my comments, I would like to hear them. I would very much like you to call in and share. And remember, our call-in number is area code 888-909-1050. That's 888-909-1050. And the number for leaving messages and requests and things that you want to let me, Diane, or Dr. J know about, you call area code 949-680-1915. That's area code 949-680-1915. So now I want to talk a little bit about our bodies. Our bodies take fuel like cars do and electric devices do. They use electricity as a sort of fuel in order to operate. What happens to our bodies, though, is we have to be careful because the fuel that we put in our bodies can stay attached to our bodies. You know, normally you take fuel in a gasoline situation for a car, and what happens? It is utilized, it creates energy, and then the residue is sent out one way or another, whether it's in liquid form or solid form. We have gasoline that burns and becomes somewhat solid in that these black little pieces of grit come out, and mostly though it's a gaseous thing. Our bodies, though, hold on to some of the substances. And what do we call that? We call that weight. Weight. And there's something about weight that I think we should all know about. You know, our intestines are very, very long, very long. And our intestines are filled with microbes, and microbes have weight. So another thing for us to think about in terms of weight is not just fat. It is the microbes in our gut, and we need them. We need millions and millions of them. Our immune system, the soldiers that are fighting our battles of illness, 70% of our immune system is regulated by our gut, by the bacteria in the gut. That's why it is very important for us to have proper microbes. They call them probiotics rather than antibiotics. If you are ever, and I want you to discuss this with your physician or your healthcare practitioner. Nowadays, many of us don't really see MDs. We see PAs or nurse practitioners, and we're going to see more and more of that. More and more of that, because they've created these niches in medicine. They've created them to serve people. They train these people. They're almost doctors. They have the right legally to write prescriptions, nurse practitioners, and physician's assistants. They have the right to establish prescriptions for you, and write an order for a pharmacy to fill that prescription. They can diagnose certain things. They have to have a physician, an MD or DO, that they work with, that they are accountable to, that they can call for information if they have any questions. They have to have the ability to contact them, at least electronically, very quickly. And the physician has to review and approve their files on a regular basis, so that's a very good thing as well. But at any rate, you're going to be meeting people, whether they are these practitioners or MDs or DOs or other health practitioners. You need to be able to communicate with them on the importance of microbes in the gut and the importance of replacing them if we kill them. We kill them when we take antibiotics. We kill them. We kill all the bad guys and we kill the good guys. And when we kill the good guys, we affect our immune system. I want you all to know that. When we affect our immune system, it can be a downward spiral for us. We don't want that. So we need to look at the possibility of probiotics. Talk to your healthcare professional. Talk to your physician if you see an MD or a DO. Talk to your whatever other type of healthcare practitioner you speak to, whether it's a physician's assistant or a nurse practitioner, about the value of probiotics. And read about probiotics. Go on the internet and try to assimilate some information that will help you understand that these microbes in the gut are very, very important. They're not only important for your digestive processes to take place properly, that's very important as well, but that's not the only reason. Your immune system is regulated by the activity of the microbes in your gut. So I want you to be aware of that and to take responsibility for it. Take responsibility for it. That's very, very important. Anybody who wants to call in and share some experiences you may have had with probiotics or not having enough probiotics, taking antibiotics and not replacing them with probiotics, call us and let us know. Let us know what you did to fix it. Remember, our call-in number is 1-888-909-1050. That's 888-909-1050. So now I want to go on to something else. I think it is also important to look regularly at your sugar consumption. Sugar consumption can result in what's called a high A1C reading. High A1C reading. That has to do with an average of your blood sugar levels over a period of about 3 months. And it tells you whether you are basically going toward diabetes, whether you have become already a diabetic, whether you need to subsidize your body with some sort of anti-glucose factor, which the most popular is insulin. Our body makes it, but sometimes it doesn't make enough, and it's out of regulation, so you're given shots. But the bottom line is we have so much control over our blood sugar levels if we just keep our mouth shut, know when to open it and what to open it for. Very, very important. And if anybody out there listening today has any comments about the diabetic syndrome that they may be experiencing, any successes you've had with it, any failures you may have had with it, I would certainly appreciate you calling in and sharing with our listeners about this particular experience, because it is extremely important. So now we are a radio station, and you know what radio stations have to do. And our dear producer and director and my holy divine boss on the other side of the glass is telling me it is time for us to take a break and have some commercials, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Hyperbaric oxygen therapy has only lately begun to gain recognition for treatment of chronic degenerative health problems, including stroke, diabetic ulcers, wound healing, brain injury, and many other disorders. Whenever blood flow and oxygen delivery to vital organs is reduced, healing can potentially be aided with hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
Are you a candidate for hyperbaric oxygen therapy?
Contact Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel, PhD, for a free consultation and see if this groundbreaking therapy can help you. Mention Kcaa and get a free gift. Call toll-free 1-877-423-7986. That's 1-877-423-7986.
Or go to hyperbaric-solutions.com. That's www.hyperbaric-solutions.com.
Call toll-free right now, 1-877-423-7986. Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Behind on your payments or barely making minimums? Do your massive interest payments have you running like mad in circles? How long can you keep it up? Stop running. Let the Thomas & Law Group carefully plan your escape. The Thomas & Law Group has proven itself for over 18 solid years, helping thousands of people like you and me reclaim our financial future. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and offices in all 50 states. And the best part? There are no upfront fees at all. You won't pay a dime until the job's done. No upfront costs, no monthly fees, no banking fees. No other law firm does that. I'm a paid spokesperson, not a lawyer, and every case is different. But really, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, call the Thomas & Law Group right away for a free, no-obligation consult with a trained legal analyst at 800-460-9790. Call now because you're tired of running in circles. 800-460-9790. 800-460-9790.
Salutations, good wishes, joy, and all good things. Welcome back to What's It All About on 1050 on your AM dial and 106.5 on your FM dial. Kcaa Radio and NBC affiliate. So, I am very, very anxious to explain to you something that we all need to take a look at in terms of possibility. I gave a lecture last night on faith, and it was a very interesting lecture. Someone got up and said, well, faith doesn't mean anything. It's just a possibility. And I said, man, you are one of the most intelligent people I've met in a long time. Faith is a possibility. And because it's a possibility, we need to respect each other's possibilities. And we need to understand that our faith is a possibility and not an absolute certainty. A certainty is something that is confirmed by the senses. It is not a matter of belief. It is a matter of reality. It is a matter of looking at something and being able to see it and touch it and feel it and define it and know that it's real because your senses has confirmed to you that this is real. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can see it, you can experience the results of it without any hesitation at all. So what that means is whatever I believe, and this is very profound, what this means is whatever I believe may be so, and whatever I believe may not be so. We really need to wake up and take a look at that. I am a person of faith. I have great faith. I have faith in God. I have faith in heavenly things. I have faith in angels. I have faith in saints. I have faith in all these things. And to me, they're very, very important. But I respect somebody else's faith, even if it's different than mine. And we need to do that to each other because we grow up in different cultures. We grow up in different faith factors. We grow up learning different things. And as we grow up, sometimes we change what we believe. Sometimes we alter it a little bit. Sometimes we alter it a lot. But I want to really suggest that each and every one of us needs to respect each other's belief systems. And if we have a belief system where we think we are the only ones that are absolutely correct, that also is a possibility. Because we cannot take faith and turn it into a certainty unless we can experience it on a real level. A biological level, the level of reality, the level of touch and feel, the level of being able to share that reality with other people who have senses like we do. We've got to respect where we come from. I have no right to tell you that what I believe is the only thing and you should die if you don't believe it. Or you have to, in order to live in my town or my state or my whatever, you have to believe exactly the same thing that I believe. That's hogwash. And you know it doesn't work at all. Yet it is important for us to have a belief system. Why is that? Because a belief system perpetrates hope. It perpetrates hope. And without hope, we are hopeless. I don't think anybody wants to feel hopeless. I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe it gets you off. Who knows? But for me, no. I don't want to be hopeless. I think being hopeless is not good. So what do we do with our faith? Some people say, well, faith is a crutch. I think faith is a wonderful crutch. I have it. I love my crutch. I carry my crutch with me everywhere I go. My crutch helps me to defend myself if somebody should attack me and want my wallet. My crutch helps me go over the precipices in the street every day, over the slippery, wet pavement, up and down the curbs, up and down some steps, over rocks. It keeps me stable. My crutch keeps me stable. And you know what? If there is nothing to my crutch, if it doesn't exist, nothing exists about my crutch, and I die right now, I'm not going to know it anyway. I won't know. There'll be no way I'm going to know. Yet, I will have had my crutch to hold on to stabilize me, to keep me going all of my life on earth. And to me, that's a very valuable gift, an extremely valuable gift, having my crutch. So on a practical side, I look at my crutch as being a valuable tool of stability in my life. And I think it's a valuable tool of stability in almost everyone's life who has that crutch, that faith. And our faith can change and grow. We can nurture our faith. We can make it more important to us. You know, there are certain groups of people like monks and nuns in various traditions in the Buddhist and the Hindu tradition, in the Catholic tradition, in the Orthodox Christian tradition, and in some Protestant traditions as well. There are people that dedicate themselves in monasteries to spending the majority of their life in prayer. And they do some work. Most monks and nuns support themselves one way or another. You know, I just visited a monastery recently, and all the monks there they provide their own food, they grow their own food, they grow their own chickens, they have their lemon trees and their orange trees and their tomato plants and their carrots and their celery, and they do it all. And they do counseling, and they have people come for retreats, and they give them a safe place to be able to think their lives through and make changes in their life. And they have wise men and women there to talk to them and guide them and bring them to a sense of reality in terms of how to look at their lives and evaluate their lives and the skills to make changes in their lives. And that's their life work. And there are other people who do many other things. But the bottom line is we really need to nurture our faith. We need to nurture our faith. And I would like very much to be a part of a program in the Inland Empire that would help us nurture our faith. And I'm going to give you our phone-in number again. If anybody wants to call in and say they would like to be a part of this as well, I would welcome that. And we can form a group, and we can get together once in a while and talk about it and make some plans and see what we can do to bring our spiritual life to a higher level, to a level, an experiential level that will help us grow, that will help us develop skills so that we can develop our interior life, our emotional life, so that we can look at the emotional aspects of our life and take more power and more control over them. So the number is, if you have any interest, you call this number, you leave a message, and you make sure that your message is clear, that you're calling about whatever it is you're calling about. You leave your telephone number and you leave your name. And the number is to call area code 949-680-1915. And I'll say it again. Area code 949-680-1915, and leave a message that you're interested in spiritual development. You'd be interested in participating in a program in the Inland Empire that would have the purpose of helping us become a tad bit more spiritually competent. So that's a new thing that I'd like to pursue. If anybody wants to be a part of it, then just give a call to that number, and I'll say the number one more time, area code 949-680-1915. I did get a call last week about a couple that's having some problems, and it might end in divorce, and they're concerned about it, and they fight a lot, they scream a lot, they do a lot of things that aren't really appropriate. And I wanted to comment on that, and I hope you are listening. The couple both are listening. I think it's very important that you communicate with each other about where you're coming from in a very non-emotional way. Become an educator. Become a person who wants someone else to experience what you're experiencing intellectually, as well as emotionally. And one of the best ways, I think, in my humble opinion, to do this is to write. Not to write an expose of somebody's emotional shortcomings, but to write how you feel. And remember that how you feel, you could be wrong. Oftentimes I see relationships break up because people feel something that is absolutely a lie. Our emotions can lead us to possibilities that are not accurate, that are not real. And we need to understand that. And that is not a good thing. And it takes both of us to be on the same page to understand if we want to do something, we need to do it intellectually. We need to do it in a non-threatening way. We need to be open with each other. Being loving is being open. It's learning to shut up and listen. And if we don't shut up and listen, we're never going to get anything anybody else wants us to have. So I want you to remember that. And I want to dedicate a show in the next couple of weeks to, and we'll build up to it, and we'll get some calls, and we'll create a situation where we can develop some skills in communicating when we're in relationship. Okay, I want to remind you that this is KCAA Radio, 1050 on your AM radio dial and 106.5 on your FM dial. We simulcast, and we are going to a quick break, and then we're coming back, and we have a guest on the line.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Behind on your payments or barely making minimums? Do your massive interest payments have you running like mad in circles? How long can you keep it up? Stop running. Let the Thomas & Law Group carefully plan your escape. The Thomas & Law Group has proven itself for over 18 solid years, helping thousands of people like you and me reclaim our financial future. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and offices in all 50 states. And the best part? There are no upfront fees at all. You won't pay a dime until the job's done. No upfront costs, no monthly fees, no banking fees. No other law firm does that. I'm a paid spokesperson, not a lawyer, and every case is different. But really, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, call the Thomas & Law Group right away for a free, no-obligation consult with a trained legal analyst at 800-460-9790. Call now because you're tired of running in circles. 800-460-9790. 800-460-9790.
Hyperbaric oxygen therapy has only lately begun to gain recognition for treatment of chronic degenerative health problems, including stroke, diabetic ulcers, wound healing, brain injury, and many other disorders. Whenever blood flow and oxygen delivery to vital organs is reduced, healing can potentially be aided with hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
Are you a candidate for hyperbaric oxygen therapy?
Contact Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel, PhD, for a free consultation and see if this groundbreaking therapy can help you. Mention KCAA and get a free gift. Call toll-free 1-877-423-7986. That's 1-877-423-7986.
Or go to hyperbaric-solutions.com. That's www.hyperbaric-solutions.com.
Call toll-free right now, 1-877-423-7986. Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy.
Welcome back to What's It All About? This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel. We have a guest on the line that is a partner of mine, and we work together in the science of hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and I want to welcome you, Mark, to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Jolly.
We have a lot to talk about today, and I would like you to tell us a little bit about hyperbaric therapy and healing of all kinds of things.
Well, today I wanted to speak about the healing we have going on for veterans with traumatic brain injury. We have the Richard A. Neubauer Research Institute. It's a 501(c)(3) charity, charitable organization, and it's really set up to further the research, medical improvements, and education in hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And one of our programs right now is our veteran treatment program, where we've been blessed with some donations that will cover the treatments of veterans that have been diagnosed with traumatic brain injury and PTSD. Right now, we have 5 veterans at various stages of the 40 treatment protocol.
Are you saying, let me interrupt you for just a minute. Are you saying that hyperbaric oxygen therapy has the capacity to heal damaged brain tissue that has been hurt? I mean, these are percussive events. They're like football players injuring their brain because they're knocked around like elephants all the time. What are you really telling us? Is this what you're telling us?
Exactly. In fact, Dr. Paul Harsh published a study in November 2011 in the prestigious Journal of Neurotrauma, showing his pilot study of 8 veterans that have been, some of them had already been medical boarded out with traumatic brain injury, concussive syndrome, and PTSD. Now, we know that the suicide rate among our veterans, the RAND Corporation has estimated up to 22 a day. And a lot of this is linked to brain injury and depression.
I think most of them have some kind of brain injury, most of the suicide persons, and that's very, very sad.
And also the drug addiction, a lot of that is self-medication for the brain injuries.
So they do that on their own because they know they have a problem, they're depressed, they're a mess. Oh, my.
And one of the first things they've found was a 51% reduction in depression immediately with these first 8 veterans in Dr. Harsh's study. We've now taken on 5, 2 active duty and 3 that are out of the military veterans, and they're all doing extremely well. Halfway through the protocols, they already noticed huge differences, and not just them, the people around them, their spouses, the people they work with are seeing a raise in focus and productivity. They don't get the brain fog, is the way a few of the guys have described it to me, where they can't keep a train of thought. They get lost in conversations, things like that. And you had mentioned the football players. A lot of people may have seen the new movie out, Concussion, the story of concussions being leading to traumatic brain injury, known in the NFL as chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Well, we treat several NFL alumni as well. We have dozens of NFL players, professional hockey players, a handful of professional boxers that we've treated for concussive syndrome. And one of the things that critics talk about with hyperbarics with brain injury when it's concussive syndrome has always been, well, it can't be real because nothing works that well. Because we've had 100% of our patients have some benefit of varying degrees. Some of them completely restored. Dr. Harsh had some of his veterans that were awaiting medical board do well enough that when they went to the medical board, they were able to stay in the service.
Now, when you talk about medical board, Mark, is that where they go and present themselves, and majority of time they are discharged?
Correct.
I see.
They'll speak with psychologists, several doctors. They'll take a look at behavior. They'll talk with coworkers, commanding officers, and evaluate, and then they'll speak directly with the service member and make a decision if they're going to separate him from duty or if he'll be returning to duty. And every one of them that has had the hyperbarics has been able to return to duty.
That's amazing.
It's in fact, that was one of the main criticisms of the publication in the Journal of Neurotrauma, which is very prestigious. One of the doctors wrote in as 2 months after the article was published that, well, look, nothing works that well, and we know we can't treat brain injury. That was the only criticism he had. Nobody seemed to direct any problems with the study. It was done very well with SPECT scans, which are brain images.
Now that's how they can prove, right? Exactly. That's how they prove that it works on a medical level, isn't it?
Exactly. They show new capillary growth with the newer, really advanced SPECT scans that are done by Serascan Corporation in Denver, and they're a leader in that field. They're even seeing new capillary growth, which is delivering more blood and oxygen to the neurons that have been damaged and opening new pathways. There's also what's called ANAM test, which is the military's neurocognitive testing. It does mathematical skills, speed, thought processing, memory. So there's several facets to it, and then lifestyle, mood. It's a pretty complete neurocognitive test, and they've all shown improvement on that. one of the first things we see is the constant headaches disappear. The look on some of these guys' face after they've done, some of them only one treatment, but almost all of them within 5 to 7 treatments, their whole demeanor when they come into the clinic is completely different than their first few visits because they're not in constant pain. A lot of them have photophobia where they're so sensitive to the light or sound. They really have a hard time functioning. And a lot of that will clear up very early on. To really get to the areas of the memory and broken sleep patterns, we want to stay with the full protocol of 40 treatments, which has been very successful. Dr. Harsh still has a study going on at LSU. We're trying to take on more and more veterans at the Hyperbaric Oxygen Institutes. And as long as we can continue to get help from the public to subsidize some of their treatments, we'll continue to treat all we can.
And I understand, too, and I want the people who are listening to understand today that hyperbaric oxygen therapy is traditionally very expensive. Most major hospitals have hyperbaric therapy available, but I happen to know one hospital, I'm not going to even mention the name, that is very prestigious in the Los Angeles area, that charged $2,080 per treatment. And Mark, I understand that you have completely upside down carded that whole issue, and you've created a situation where it can be done at a much lesser price with the same quality, the same kind of equipment, and that's a very true statement. Can you tell us how you do that, what's going on, what you're doing?
Well, what we're treating is considered off-label, so it's not covered by insurance or Medicare. Medicare set a specific rate where they have the treatments done in a hospital, so there's more overhead. They also have more doctors in the area. They need to pay all that overhead, and they bill Medicare, which is a very high rate. Most hospitals will collect anywhere from $845 a treatment up to $2,500 for one treatment, and we're talking about a 40 treatment protocol. So we felt that instead of running 1 or 2 treatments a day at these high numbers, if we made hyperbarics available to the general public and put in more chambers and made it as affordable as we possibly can, that the public would respond, and they have. So we've been able to drop the prices significantly, and for veterans and special needs children, we're going to pretty much just cover our costs of the technicians and maintenance equipment and oxygen. So it's a really accessible program to the general public. There's such a wide spectrum of conditions that can be treated. The public is starting to research this and find out on their own more and more, as well as more physicians are jumping on board when they're seeing the benefit for their patients. We're getting more and more physician referrals than we ever had, just because it's now becoming affordable, and the more studies are out there now to convince the physicians that this really is working.
I had a very interesting thing happen 2 months ago. A woman came in with a third of her foot black, and they had told her she was going to have an amputation. And she was told by one particular doctor, try hyperbaric therapy. She came to the center in Irvine at the South Coast Medical Center for New Medicine, and she got some treatments, and after about a half a dozen treatments, the doctor said, my God, it's healing. We don't need to amputate it. And that happens a lot. It happens a lot, and it's so exciting for me when I see that.
Yeah, and it's a shame that so many amputations, especially with the rise in diabetes in our nation, the diabetic non-healing foot wounds are very treatable. there's one hospital in particular in the Southern California area that's doing almost 400 amputations a year, almost all related to diabetic foot wounds. We know that statistically that even for the severe, what they call a Wagner grade 3 wound, 78% of the time we can save the limb.
We can. There's two things we need to do. Number one is do the hyperbaric therapy, and number two is transform the behavior of the patient so
Right.
they will control what they put in their mouth.
Right, and that's the same thing with the people we're treating for brain injury. There's several environmental things that can really affect the progress. For instance, smoking alone. The carbon monoxide in cigarettes attaches to the hemoglobin, rendering the oxygen unable to attach to hemoglobin, and the treatment is much less effective.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that because I know some patients are sneaking out occasionally and smoking in the parking lot prior to their treatment while they're waiting in the lobby, or else after their treatment. And I used to preach vehemently to them, but I know they don't want to hear it, and so I'm kind of having a moral quandary myself. I do not know scientifically how it affects the absorption of O2, but it's got to bring it down dramatically.
Well, fortunately with the hyperbarics, we're still forcing oxygen into the tissue. We can bypass the hemoglobin. But carbon monoxide, when it attaches to a hemoglobin cell in the red blood cell, that renders that particular cell unable to ever carry oxygen again. That's where carbon monoxide is so damaging. Now, fortunately, our red blood cells recycle and replenish, but once you start damaging them from long-term smoking of anything, and, we see this with firefighters as well. They're around smoke inhalation so much, a lot of items that burn give off, any petroleum products like plastics, when they burn and melt, they give off carbon monoxide in different quantities.
Oh, that's very damaging.
That can cause a lot of damage.
Yeah, very, very damaging. Well, I think we're doing some really good stuff, and anybody who's interested, how can someone get some information? Who can they call? What can they do to get some information on what you're talking about?
Well, for the veteran program, we really we covered all your phone calls, questions. Please go to our website. It's questions at RANRI, RANRI.org. Or you can call us at 949-209-9924. And if you have an immediate question, you need immediate response, you can call me at 714-833-0409. Also, the Hyperbaric Oxygen Institute, you can always reach us there, and you can check our website at the Hyperbaric Oxygen Institute at hyperbaricOxygeninstitute.com.
hyperbaricoxygeninstitute.com. It's a good website. There's a movie on that website. I believe it's on the website called Brainstorm.
Correct. That was actually done by a veteran that we had treated years ago, and he was starting to go to trade and technical school in Los Angeles for filmmaking. And he was having a hard time staying with classes or school, and was losing track of everything.
And that's because of his brain injury. That's because of his brain injury, right?
Because of the brain injury. So we started treatments on him. Not even halfway through the protocol, he had such success, he started becoming very motivated in school. Grades came up, stayed in his classes, finished his full protocol, and he was so impressed progressed with his own recovery that he asked what could he do to help us. And he suggested that he do a documentary on hyperbaric treatments for traumatic brain injury. And that's how this DVD came about. He actually went to Louisiana and interviewed Dr. Paul Harsh. He did some filming of some of the veterans that had been through hyperbarics and their spouses. He showed quite a bit. It's a very well done film, and he actually won some student filmmaking awards.
Well, it's a great movie. It's a great movie. Thanks for telling us about it, Mark. I think everybody should go on the website, hyperbaricoxygeninstitute.com, and find that movie, Brainstorm. Mark, we have a guest on the phone who has some questions. Is this Donnie? Am I right? Danny.
I can be Donnie today, but I can also go by Daniel or Danny or whatever.
Hey, Daniel, greetings. Greetings to you. And talk to us.
Good afternoon.
Talk to us.
Well, talk to you guys. Okay, well, first of all, great show. I loved the first portion, the discussion of faith and how we all can be doing better. That's very awesome. Hyperbarics, I really, really love to hear about that topic. Reason why is because I'm in nursing and I've been learning more and more about this type of therapy. I really didn't want to interrupt you and Mark because it seemed like such a wonderful conversation, but I wanted to add a couple of comments. One of them is I had a friend who had a very, very terrible back problem, some type of stenosis, and he had difficulty walking. He's been disabled for over 10 years, and he told me he did HBOT. And when he started the program, he said he was affected positively. After his first treatment, he was able to feel it. And just to bring into perspective exactly what happened, my friend Leo and I, that's his name, Leo, I used to have to slow down to about a puppy's pace just to allow him to keep up with me. After a couple of treatments, he was actually walking alongside me at a normal pace. Not only that, he took off his shoes, I think, after about 10 treatments. He goes, "Look, Daniel," and he's wiggling his toes. He goes, "I haven't wiggled my toes in over 10 years. I thought that was really, really awesome. Another thing that I learned recently, there's some type of a facility in Anaheim, and they just acquired a hyperbaric treatment. I'm not sure if it was through you or not, but they're using it to treat children mainly with cerebral palsy, and it's a Polish-based therapy. They use modalities that aren't really seen here in the United States. However, Poland and the Swedish have some of the best physical therapy standards, and they're incorporating now hyperbaric therapy alongside their therapies with these children, which I thought was really cool. So people should know that, because I think that ties in with the brain damage that you and Mark were just discussing. Is that correct?
Yeah, Danny, let me ask you a question, too. I'm very familiar with a group that does that, and they have what look like the most bizarre physical therapy treatments, but they are magnificently successful. And the name
effective.
Is this Pole Fit? Is that the name of the group?
Yes, that's the name of the place, Pole Fit.
Pole Fit in Anaheim.
I was just speaking with one of the owners yesterday, actually, and I haven't spoken to him in about 9 months. And he told me that he got the hyperbaric chamber in there from a place called Advanced. I don't know if that's you, Mark, or you, Dr. Jolly. And, that's really cool. But I've been through there many times. I've taken patients through there. I've toured their facilities. And like you said, Dr. Jolly, it's some of the most bizarre approaches, but they're so fluid.
Magnificent. Absolutely magnificent to watch them. And I work with Dr. Nina Sabotina from Argentina. That all rhymes. Dr. Nina Sabotina from Argentina. She wrote a book on hyperbaric therapy, very well versed, and she's into that, and it's magnificent to watch them work.
Well, Pulpit is a tremendous outfit. They're doing great work. They have for quite a while. And at that new location where they have the chamber now, we used to get a lot of patients from Polfit, and now with the chamber there, it's going to be much easier for the parents that come from out of state and out of the country to treat their children.
Mark, let me ask you something. Is this going to have the same type of effect on the children as it does on these veterans? Perhaps, maybe. Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah,
it's terrific for cerebral palsy. There's actually one of the leading doctors in hyperbarics treating cerebral palsy is Dr. Philip James in Scotland, and he had been fighting to bring hyperbarics in for cerebral palsy and problem deliveries for years, and they finally got in some of the counties over there some ordinances passed, and they started running any problem deliveries, immediately putting the child in hyperbarics, and in those counties, which takes up a big part of Scotland and England, they've reduced the rate of cerebral palsy by 80%.
So that's a good thing for everybody to know. That's very encouraging.
You know, it's absolutely, it is.
Listen,
it is.
I know we're running low on time, and I just wanted to mention one more thing because you both were talking about diabetic foot ulcers. As you know, I've been in nursing now for over 10 years. This December, one of the patients I worked with, also in the Orange County area. I'm not sure if he visited you or not, Dr. Jolly, but he was going to have his toe amputated. A lot of these victims of spinal cord injury are susceptible to pressure ulcerations and osteomyelitis, things of that nature. After 4 treatments, his toe was getting so much better. After 10 treatments, the doctor said they no longer had to amputate it, but it healed up so fast they actually had to reopen it. I don't know why, and then continue the healing, and he's never had the problem again. So it stopped his osteomyelitis, which is a bone infection.
Well, that's very exciting. I want to add something to what you said. What you said about cerebral palsy is so incredible. The Russians started this. They built a complete hyperbaric hospital in Moscow. It is the most wild, incredible place I've ever seen. It's called the Bera Center, and it's in Moscow, in downtown Moscow. They have chambers for everything, huge chambers. They have a chamber that's like a bus, and this is all thick steel chamber, like a big submarine. You go in there, and you can seat about 18 people, like you're riding in a bus, and you can all be treated hyperbarically. They have a surgical room. They have a birthing room. They have never had a CP.
Wow.
They've never had a CP baby when they suspected they might if they gave birth in the birthing room. They have a special room for the brain-injured people. And I'm talking special chamber. They're huge chambers.
We need to look into that here. I heard that there was once in Ohio or some flyover state.
Oh, yeah, we can...
Domicile or something like that in the 40s, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we need to talk about that on the air one day. I think it's very important, and we can put some pictures on our website as well, because there was a hyperbaric hotel in Cleveland, Ohio in the 20s. It was a 72-room hotel, and it was magnificent. Well, now we're running out of time. My producer says if we don't get off the air, we go to purgatory.
Well, sorry I called you so late.
God bless you. God bless you. Take care,
nice
everybody.
With you, Mark, and you as well. And
thank you.
good
And
luck
Mark,
with everything in the new year, guys.
Thank you. Mark, thank you for joining us. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on KCAA Radio. See you all next week.
UCLA basketball legend, NBA Hall of Famer, and Pac-12 broadcaster Bill Walton will be on the next edition of Open Season. Your hosts, Larry Burnett, Fred Wallen, and Madman Mark Mancini, guarantee you will be informed, shocked, and entertained by some of the things Walton says. Join Open Season Thursday afternoon at 3:06 Pac Time on KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, or stream us at kcaaradio.com.
This is KCAA Loma Linda. CNBC News is next. Brought to you by BuySellMakeOffer.com. Go there now and join the thousands who have already signed up for a new and exciting way to buy and sell online, launching January 15th.
Tom Busby, CNBC Radio. Some big changes at the nation's largest private employer. Starting in February, Walmart will be giving raises to more than 1 million of its U.S. workers, paying at least $10 an hour, and will provide free basic short-term disability to full-time hourly staff.